I'm Serina Bowles from the travel agent next door. I just returned myself from a long haul flight last week, and I thought I would share with you my tips to help you get ready for your next flight. So my first recommendation would be to decide where you want to sit on the plane. There is a website called seatguru.com that you can see what your particular aircraft, how it's configured, and decide where you would like to sit. A lot of people like the aisle seats because they can get in and out more easily and not disturb their neighbors. However, if you're planning on sleeping on your flight, it's a good idea to consider getting a window seat so that you have a surface to lean against to help you get more comfortable on your flight. My next recommendation would be to pack your carry-on bag smartly. The first thing I always tell people that is most important to pack in your carry-on bag is a change of clothes, or maybe even a couple of changes of clothes. A few different reasons that this will be helpful for you. First would be if you were to spill anything on yourself while you're on your flight, you'll be very grateful to have a change of clothes to change into. Also, some people like to just put on some fresh clothes before they land into their destination after being in the same clothes for a long time. It's nice to get off the plane and feel more fresh. And the third reason would be if anything was to happen with your check bags, where all of your clothes are, and you need to sort of get by for a little bit until your bags arrive or until you can purchase new clothes. It's nice to have a few options. I also suggest packing a little bag that's easily accessible, that carries just some essential items that you think that you might need, because you need to remember that you are going to be away from your luggage for a long period of time. And things come up that you might need on the plane. I usually pack things like hand sanitizer, face wipes, eye drops. My eyes do get dry on a plane. Dental floss, because that is super annoying if you're stuck with things in your teeth for 10 hours. I also have like a stain removal pen, as well as like pain medication and any essential medication you want to make sure you have easy access to and that it stays with you at all times. I also like to bring this little thing. It is a portable fan. I got it on Amazon. It's battery operated, so you charge it before you go. A lot of times whenever you get on a flight, as they're waiting for takeoff, the system isn't working with the fans, and it can get pretty stuffy, and it's easy to get overheated and kind of feel a little claustrophobic in your seat. Having something like this that you can just set up and just circulate some air around yourself will help you be more comfortable as you start your flight. And my favorite thing that I bring on long haul flights is this thing. Again, got it on Amazon. I just searched for plain eye mask, I think. Basically, it's just this little contraption. This dark blue part here fastens onto the back of your seat, like your headrest on your seat. And this eye mask part is attached by Velcro. So your head goes in here against the seat, and this goes across. And this stabilizes your head, and so you can sort of relax your neck and lean forward, and it keeps your neck from bopping around and covers your eyes so you have the darkness. I usually put some earplugs in, and it's actually quite comfortable and allows me to get some sleep on a plane. Speaking of earbuds, I do usually have like a little carrying case like this that I bring my earbuds in so that they don't get lost in the bottom of my bag. And I know this sounds silly, but this is actually like has come in super useful more times than once. It's one of these little clips. I forget the name of them, but they're the ones that go like that. I use this to attach things to the outside of my backpack that I have at the airport. So things that would be take up a lot of space or would be bulky inside my carry-on bag. So I usually have my earbuds, this face mask as well that I have. It rolls up and it fits into this little bag here, so I can clip this onto here and attach it to the outside of my carry-on bag that is usually a backpack. It saves room on the inside and also keeps it easily accessible for the things I want. I've even used my water bottle. I've attached onto the outside of my backpack as well. It's just as a little handy gadget to have. You never know when you might come up with a reason that you'll need it. And then my next recommendations would be to make sure that you prepare your phone really well. Obviously, you want to make sure that your phone has full charge, and it is also a good idea to purchase a portable battery pack as well as the cable that will go between this and your phone. Keep this completely fully charged at the beginning of your journey, because you'll notice that you're using your phone a whole lot more than usual, so the battery usually goes down pretty quickly. There are those USB ports in the back of the seats, usually on the plane, but they're used so often that they get really jiggly and loose, and they don't provide a whole lot of power. So it's good to have some backup battery to make sure that your phone stays charged the entire time of your journey. My next recommendation is how to dress properly for your flight. There will likely be varying temperatures that you'll be dealing with, both running through the airport, trying to get through security. The flight itself may be hot and stuffy at the beginning, like I said. It can get very cold once you're up at high altitudes, as well as you need to consider what the weather is going to be like at the airport before your trip and the airport at your destination. I usually recommend dressing very comfortably, very loose-fitting clothes, not necessarily pajamas, but as close as pajamas as you can get away with in public. You don't want anything that's too restrictive. I usually recommend something like a tank top with light pants, and then a couple of layers on top. So maybe a t-shirt, maybe a vest, a long sleeve sweater or hoodie, and then something even heavier than that on top. That you can use as a blanket, or you can use if you do get very cold. A top tip that people aren't usually aware of is that you are actually allowed to bring a pillow as an additional bag onto your flight. So you're allowed your personal item, you're allowed your carry-on bag, and then you can also bring a pillow separately from all that. So what I usually recommend to people is to bring an empty pillowcase, and then as you rotate with your different layers on and off, you have a place to put them, and it also sort of doubles as a pillow for on the plane to help you get more comfortable. Shoes are also something important to think about. You don't want to be wearing anything with buckles or laces or boots. You want slip-on shoes that are easy to get on and off, especially if we're going through security. I always recommend to have comfortable socks on as well, even if it doesn't look all that fashionable. It is good to have socks for on the plane in case your feet get cold, and having slip-on shoes make them easy to sort of take on and off to get more comfortable whenever you're trying to sleep on your flight. Now, when you're at the airport, another tip I have for you is to bring an empty water bottle with you through security. Once you're through security and in the terminal, there will be water fountains, usually by the bathrooms, that you can fill your water bottle up with water, and then have your own supply of water to bring with you onto the plane and have with you in your seat. It saves you from having to wait for the cabin crew to come by with like their little cups of water, and it'll make sure that you can stay hydrated throughout your whole flight. While you're waiting for your flight in the terminal, it is a good idea to unpack everything that you'll want to have in your seat out of your carry-on bag. So things like your pillow, your earphones, your phone, your charger, your essentials bag, any medication that you'll need to take during your flight, stuff like that. Anything that you'll want to have with you in your seat, take it out of your carry-on bag before you get on the flight, and it'll save you the hassle of getting out of your seat, taking your bag down from the overhead bin, unpacking it in the middle of the aisle, and having to put it all back. It's a good idea just to have everything ready to go and carry it on in your arms into the plane and into your seat. Now, a few things to help you during your actual flight. If you have the option ahead of time to choose a special dietary meal, it might be a good idea for you, even if it's not necessarily something that you need in terms of your diet restrictions. Choosing one of the special meals like the gluten-free meal, the vegetarian meal, the kosher meal, anything like that, means that your food is going to be delivered first while on the flight. So during food service, all the special meals go out first. It means that they're fresher, quicker. You're the first one to eat, the first one to finish eating, and you could be the first one to settle down and try to catch some sleep on your flight. Now also, while you're on your flight, you'll want to make sure that you are moving around enough. You don't want to be sitting for a long period of time at a high altitude without moving. So some people do what's called plane yoga, Basically rolling your shoulders, moving your neck, rolling your ankles, moving your legs up and down in your seat, just to kind of keep the blood flowing. And I also suggest every half an hour to an hour, just get up out of your seat and move around a little bit, just in the aisle, just shake your limbs out a little bit. Usually there's a little bit more room by the bathroom. If you're waiting to use the bathroom, you can do some squats and stuff like that in the aisle. It just helps you feel better whenever you get off your flight. And then another mind trick that I have that works for me is, as soon as I sit down in my seat, I set my clock to whatever my new time is going to be, and then I start behaving as if that's my time. I know it sounds silly, but just mentally thinking about what my new time is helps me to adjust quicker once I get to my destination. And that's all my tips for you for today. I wish you happy travels and happy flying.